What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Daily Refinement. My name is Chris. I go by Daily Refinement online. I make a living selling physical products online. Today I have my good friend Steve Rakin here. You guys all know him. He's like the OG of reselling. But we're going to talk about a really popular topic today, which is hiring a scout. This is one of my favorite models, and this is actually what I do in my business. I have James, you guys know, my photographer. He's a full-time sourcer for me now. He is thrifting basically camera equipment and shoes for me full-time. And so that is something I really love because California has really bad traffic and it's difficult to get around. And one way of scaling is high margin items. You can afford a scout. So Steve's gonna give us some ideas on how he might be hiring a book scout.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the application called Scout IQ. It's similar to Amazon Seller app. The only difference is it gives you more information, it's faster, and it also has database mode. So if you're ever in a place that doesn't have internet, you can actually just tap into your database, which is essentially like previously stored information, and you could scan books when others can't. So Scout IQ, that's the app I use. I love it. I think pricing starts at like $14 a month, which is well worth it if you're running like a scalable book business. But anyways, Scout IQ just came out with this new feature that's called team mode. Okay, so with Scout IQ, one of the differences with that and Amazon Seller app is you can set up something that's called triggers. Are you familiar with triggers?
I am.
So they're essentially rules that you set up. So for example, say a book is ranked between 10,000 and 30,000. It has an e-score of over 100. And an e-score is essentially a number that tells you how many days out of the last 6 months that book has sold. So you can set up rules based on the ranks. So between ranks 100,000 and 500,000, if the e-score is between this, if the rank's below that, then I can set up a trigger to buy it with a target profit of $4 or more. So you set up all these different rules. And the cool thing is the founder of Scout IQ is Caleb Roth, who is one of the smartest, brightest booksellers I've ever met. He's been doing it for years. He's actually in the trenches. He's not some guy out in the middle of freaking wherever creating these softwares and have no idea of the problems that booksellers deal with. So anyways, you can set up triggers. So that's powerful in itself, but they just launched team mode. So for an extra $10 a month, you can essentially create a new login and password. So someone could sign in under your kind of your Scout IQ account, but as like a sister account, and you could set up custom triggers for them, right? Now you want to set up custom triggers because the triggers that you're going to set up for them is going to obviously be a little different because you've got to charge them either an hourly rate or you're going to pay them per book. I'm paying $2 per book, but this is the kicker and this is the coolest thing. What's the biggest thing that most resellers are worried about when hiring somebody?
That they're going to steal their idea.
They're going to steal your business.
Yep.
And with books, when you're scanning books, oftentimes you could pay $1, $2 and find a $50, $80, $100 book. I don't care who you're dealing with. I mean, eventually after a while, if you've got a scout finding books for $1 and they're going for $100, either going to steal them or they're going to want more money, which is fine. I'm all about growing and then having my contractors, employees, if you have them, grow with you. But what they launched is something that's called hidden mode. So all they have to do is log into Scout IQ, scan books, and instead of it showcasing the data, the rank, the e-score, what it's selling for, your profit, it just says yes or no. Now, it's not a perfect system because with any scanning application, you're gonna scan something and the wrong listing is gonna pop up. There are a couple little challenges with it right now. It doesn't let you change the buy cost. So if the Scout's out there and you're at a library and it's $1 and then you go to Savers and it's $4, you can't change the buy cost right now because pretty much what Caleb tried to do was eliminate any errors that the Scout can create on their own. So it's just scan it, yes or no. So what I do is I kind of create like a padding in my triggers. So instead of doing $1 buy cost, it's like a $2.50 buy cost just to kind of keep some padding there. But I just hired my book scout. I'm paying $2 per book, and it's a 1099 contractor. So you've talked about this before in the past. I'm not a CPA, I'm not a lawyer, do your research, but you've got to create your you have to treat your workers a certain way in order to classify them as a 1099 versus a employee. So I'm not giving them the tools, I'm not paying for gas, I'm not telling them the exact routes to go on because there's, you know what I'm talking about. You can't do certain things. Again, do your own research. But it's pretty exciting. I actually just had him go out for the first time. He brought back 19 books for me on his first little 4-hour trip. Wasn't the best. We hit a couple little roadblocks, but he brought me $200 profit, and it only cost me $40 to get it. So it's really, really powerful.
And I want to talk about right now an uptick in gig economy work. One thing from eBay Open, because we're at the 2019 eBay Open right now, is that people are cobbling together multiple streams of income, even no matter what income level. There are people here that own a dry cleaning business and run a 6-figure Amazon business and then a small eBay store. And so people are looking for gigs like this. They may have 3 or 4 hours a day where they want to go hunt for books, and this looks like a good job. So this is the thing this is way better than driving for Uber. You're in an air-conditioned store looking for stuff. And if you start to get some connections, if Steve Scout ends up knowing a library store manager, he's not going to get mad at that person. He's like, great job. Now you just save time, I save time. Steve will have no problem paying $100 an hour if that person brings you $1,000 worth of profit.
Exactly. And the real money isn't in having your scout go to like thrift stores and stuff because it's so competitive now. It's in building relationships with libraries, getting backroom access, or finding, like, for example, I just built a connection with a multi-million-dollar bookseller in my area. And some of these big accounts, they're making so much money, they don't want to deal with books that have like a ripped page or like a little bit of damage or some binding issues. Whereas I, a smaller seller, I'll deal with it and I'll take the time to write up a good description, so on and so forth. So I'm going in there and I'm buying a whole bunch, hundreds of books at a time, $8 profit, $12 profit, $15. The other day I brought home like $600 of profit. I was there for an hour. So that's really, I think, where the money is with the Scout. Also, library sales. At library sales, when I go, and I don't do library sales all the time, but I've made $500, $800. You can make really good money. I have friends who make well over $1,000 just going to a library sale. But there's also like 50 other resellers there who are making like $800, $600. So if I had 3 or 4 Scouts with me and I was paying them an incentive, had like an incentive program, or even like $15 an hour, like you could crush it. I'm still a newbie when it comes to this. I'm being transparent. Like I just started this about a week ago. The program's only been out with Scout IQ, this team mode, for 2 months. So there's a couple of guys who are kind of pioneering this, and big shout out to Caleb Roth for creating this software. But definitely a great opportunity. And I think the name of the game, like the theme we've been talking about over the last couple of days at eBay Open and with others, is how can you get the profits to come to you instead of you going out to get the profits? Because nowadays it's not about the profit, it's about how do you get your time.
And this team mode thing is very special because for me, when James finds a $200 item, I have to pay like $40 because there's no team mode. He knows how much it's worth, and that's why he's buying it. So you have to pay more to get more. But again, it's still worth it time-wise. I'm trying to pay him about 1/4 to 20% of what it's going to sell for. But in team mode, you need a category where stuff, the ASP can be above $40, in my opinion, to really have a Scout. You need the opportunity to hit a home run.
Yeah.
If you're in a category where the maximum you'll make is $20, you can't hire a Scout.
Yeah.
It's just too
with
difficult.
Books, it's a little bit different though. Like for example, because I could find like a $15 book, and if we pay $1 plus I pay him $2 on Amazon, like there's an opportunity sometimes to make like $7 or $8 profit. So we can do that with certain books, obviously not huge textbooks and whatnot. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of opportunities out there, and I'm just really, really excited about it. And back to your point, paying $40 for something that's $140, that's still an amazing idea. To be honest, right now I'm paying $2 per book because at this point it comes out to like easily like $15 to $20 an hour, sometimes $40 to $50 an hour if I gave them a really good source or something. But I actually might switch over to something similar to you in the future, just depending upon if my Scout's having trouble finding books as competition continues to grow. And Caleb Roth, again, big shout out to Caleb. He has a spreadsheet that actually allows you to track consignments. So for example, I could have Scouts going out for me, finding books, and then when I list it, I could skew it, and every month I could print out a report on Amazon with custom SKUs that show me, after all fees, how much I owe the person who I'm consigning for, or consignee, whatever it's called. So a lot of people are doing that and crushing it as well.
I agree. That's just really important, guys. Time becomes your friend as you grow. Do everything you can to save time. Scouts is one of my favorite models.
Yeah.
It's like people wish they could thrift at scale. This is thrifting at scale.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Thank you so much, Steve. Why don't you let people know where they can find you online?
Yeah, awesome. Thanks for watching, guys. So you can find me on YouTube at Rake and Profit, Instagram at Rake and Profit. Those are probably the 2 best places. If you want to get in contact with me, just send me a DM on Instagram, and I usually respond pretty quickly.
Thanks, guys.
All right, appreciate it.